Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Betting Podcast alongside my co-host SternBets and DrewDelu. I am Prince of Picks. Welcome into the show. Got the three-man weave coming at you today. We're going to be covering a plethora of sports as there is a lot of sports on the horizon today. Of course, college basketball getting into the tournament season here. We've got the action on the pitch, Champions League in action today. We've also got Europa League, Conference League taking place tomorrow. If you're interested in any angles that we have in that, we do have a special podcast for that available now on the channel. So go and check that out and see what we got to say about the Europa League. So excited for that. We got NHL in action, of course, as well. NBA on the in the association tonight. So a lot of things going on here. Golf, PGA in action, of course, on starting tomorrow. Got the Players Championship. So a lot of things happening here at the same time. We like to call it the sports equinox, and we're really excited to cover it here. So before we get into that, guys, we get to do us a real quick solid. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give us a real quick rate, review, and subscribe. It does tremendous help in terms of supporting the channel here and getting this show out and available to more listeners. With that being said, let me go ahead and pass it over to my co-host, Mr. SternBets, Mr. Mosh. Good morning. How are you, brother?
Good morning. Welcome back to the morning show where we are going to start breaking down everything for the day. I'm looking at your picks. You sent them ahead of time, and I'm really excited. I like a lot of these. And I think we should just get started. We're talking about soccer. Let's just keep rolling with soccer. But before we do that, I just want to ask you, what is your favorite look-ahead spot for the Champions League today? Because our show play crushed yesterday. Bayern Munich wasn't even close. that was fun if you were on the right side of things.
Yeah, that was done right from the beginning. There, we had a feeling this was going to be a bit of a massacre, and it sure was. And Atalanta never had a hope in that one. But as far as today's slate, I mentioned this on the podcast that we did, but I'll mention it again. For me, this is a really exciting slate. I think every single match, to be honest, has potential to be a really fun and entertaining. But if I had to pick one here, kind of got my eye on the Cinderella team in Bodo Glimt. They've just kind of captured the imaginations and the hearts of a lot of neutral soccer fans here. So I just love their story, and I think seeing them perform and try to get to a new level that they've never been before. Matches there on that artificial turf up north. Near the Arctic border there, it's a really fun environment there, and you typically see a lot of goals. So for the neutral fan, that's what we want to see, right? And so for me, that's probably going to be the one that I'm looking forward to from an entertainment value. But I mean, you can't go wrong with Man City and Real Madrid, and of course PSG and Chelsea. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So I think
all the games.
I mean, my God, I need three TVs. I don't know what to do. I mean, I guess I could tune into Colossal Channel. That's what that's for. But I want to see all of them all at the same time. I don't want to flip back and forth. So yeah, I mean, honestly, this is one of the best slates in recent memory, in my opinion. I think all three of the afternoon games are going to be complete bangers.
There we go. There's the word. Yeah, I have to agree with you. This Bodo Glimt game is going to be unbelievable. And then, yeah, let's just roll with that as our show play of the day. You can choose the SternBets way, or you can choose the Prince of Picks way. I have Bodo Glimt double chance, parlayed with them to score at least one goal, very juiced at minus 155. And Prince of Picks has just a very simple team total over 1.5 on the home side. Bodo Glimt here at minus 105. Much more attractive juice there. Let's just make that our show play then. Bodo Glimt team total over 1.5. I like that. I do expect them to score and kind of stay at least very competitive in this one. But you don't have to worry about that. You just have to worry about them scoring 2 goals. All right, cool. Let's roll with what you got today for the world of soccer. And I'm excited about this one in the MLS here. Give it to me.
Yeah, so actually we've got it's CONCACAF Champions Cup that we have in action tonight. So what we're looking at here is we got 3 matches taking place in the Champions Cup tonight. The first one here is featuring 2 MLS teams. We got Nashville taking on Inter Miami. That one's going to be kicking off here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And this one is going to be an awesome match. You want to talk about fun and entertaining. Doesn't get much better than watching Inter Miami in general. But when they're playing against a Nashville side that is in excellent offensive form themselves, not to mention there's bad blood between these two sides. So we saw this from Inter Miami Orlando a couple weeks ago. We saw a lot of physicality, a lot of intensity, a lot of chants from the crowd. And I think you're going to see a similar environment here. I think it's going to be a hostile environment. To be honest with you guys here, I think this one for the neutral is going to be really entertaining. But what I'm landed on here, I like goals early. I'm on first half over 1.5 goals. You're going to get that at plus 115. This has hit in 6 of the last 8 head-to-head between these two sides. But also, I do think we see a lot of goals. Right now, the over 2.5 is a little bit too juiced for me. It's sitting at around minus 220, minus 225, depending on where you're shopping. But this has hit over 2.5 heads in 9 straight matchups between these two sides. So safe to say we're going to see goals. Typically, even in their individual games, not head-to-head, you tend to see a lot of goals for both the Miami and Nashville matches. So when they play each other, that doesn't change. If anything, it increases. So I do expect to see a lot of goals. So we like to give live bet looks here and angles and things to watch for. If you don't see goals early here, definitely I would look at overs in this one because the goals are most likely going to be coming according to the trends. But officially here, first half over 1.5 goals plus 115.
Are we treating this game like an MLS match? And that's my bad. I just read Nashville Inter Miami and just assumed it was MLS. But if Inter Miami goes down early, can we treat this like an MLS match where we're just going to bet them live to either at least draw, if not win it outright?
Yeah, so if your intention of the question means like, are they going to play with the same intensity of an MLS match? I would say yes. CONCACAF Champions Cup is very important. It's the Champions League for North America and Central America, right? So it has the same importance. Maybe not the same prestige yet, right? Because you're not talking about the biggest clubs in the world when you're talking about CONCACAF Champions Cup. But it matters very much to these teams, and a lot of times you'll see rosters rotated in the MLS games to prepare for Champions Cup games. So it does have a very high importance and a high value here for these teams in particular. So I do think we're going to see a competitive match one way or the other. If one team goes down, they're absolutely not just going to. I don't see them throwing in the towel and saying, "Okay, we got MLS this weekend. Let's just let's bench Messi, let's bench everyone else and just wait for the weekend." No, I think they're going to go for it. More even more so because they're rivals. I think that just adds another layer to it. So yeah, I think we're going to see a very very competitive match tonight.
Okay, awesome. And just one quick question, and then I'm sorry if I'm just uninformed. Is it a two leg type of game where each side gets a chance at home?
It is. Yeah, this is a 2 leg. Yep. So it's a home and away here. So this one's going to be in Nashville, and of course, next week, I believe it's next week, it'll be in Miami. So, yep, same concept as Champions League, home and away. So, we'll see what happens after the 2 legs.
Cool. I'm all in. Looking for goals early, and if we don't get goals early, just bet the same thing on the second half.
That's it. Yep.
All right, cool. What else you got for us in the CONCACAF Champions League here?
Yeah, so next up, we got 9:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. This one's going to take place after the Miami game. We got LA Galaxy. Is going to be hosting Mount Pleasant. This is a team from the Jamaican Premier Division. They're currently sitting third in the Jamaican table right now, having a really good season. And I think LA Galaxy is just a little bit overvalued here in this one. They're minus 4,000 on the money line, which of course is not a playable line. But even on the spread here, they're minus 3.5. I haven't seen enough personally from LA Galaxy to feel comfortable laying a 3-4 goal spread with them. They just haven't done enough for me to feel confident in that. So I like Mount Pleasant here to cover a 3.5 goal spread. You're going to get that at minus 130. LA Galaxy, they have not covered a minus 3.5 spread in 51 of the last 52 matches. So again, to the point here, LA Galaxy, just not a team that typically is able to win by margin. And maybe more specifically, the reason why that could be is defensively, they've been pretty poor over the last couple of years. And so it's early in the season, not sure how much they've improved defensively as of yet. But I do think Mount Pleasant can get a goal here. Mount Pleasant has been scoring pretty regularly in the Jamaican League. And so we're going to get a beat to TS here at plus 230. +230 against a Galaxy side that is not one of the greater defenses in MLS. I think Mount Pleasant can maybe hit them on a counter attack here and use some of their athleticism and skill to get a goal here. All we need is just one goal from Mount Pleasant. I do think Galaxy should win this one, and probably, of course, they'll score a couple goals here. But yeah, so I like both teams to score here +230. Half a unit on that, and then half a unit on Mount Pleasant +3.5. That one's at -130.
I mean, I'm assuming that Mount Pleasant didn't get to this level or this stage of the CONCACAF Champions here to really just falter by more than 4 goals. That feels a little bit long.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And they're a quality side. I think a lot of books and just the general public, they'll look at some of these Caribbean sides and Central American sides, and just because they don't know anything about them, they think they're not very good. But I've actually seen this team play. They're decent. They can hold their own. And I guess for me, it'd be more of a fade on LA Galaxy than anything. I'm sure Michael, he's got some information here for us, maybe some lineup information that I might have missed out on. Michael, what do you got for us? Welcome in. Thanks for
Hey,
joining
thanks
us.
guys for having me. Appreciate it. So Mount Pleasant had 10 or 11 of their players detained, um, not by ICE, but through U.S. Customs. Their passports have been revoked, so they couldn't get in. So Mount Pleasant had to call in some of their academy players to field a team. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that.
Okay, well, yeah. Wow, I didn't know that. That's what we got, Michael. Michael's our sideline reporter here, if you will. He comes in with the
On
with
the
the
boots on the ground.
boots on the ground. There you go. That's right, boots on the ground. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and send you guys the link in the chat. But yeah, that came to light yesterday. So were they were they had enough time to call in the academy players for Mount Pleasant, so we should be good. I just want to let you guys know that like 10 of their players were not allowed to come into the United States. I
That's
think they were detained
wild.
in like Haiti.
Oh my gosh, that's really wild. I wonder, I don't want to get into it right now, but I wonder how that's going to affect the World Cup.
And that's what one journalist was saying. We're 90 something days away and we have this going on. So I'm not going to comment anymore on that subject, but that's what I heard.
The only thing that I'll say is that if the World Cup tickets go down to under $100, I'm going to grab one. Not worth it necessarily at the price it is right now.
Yeah, I agree. Not worth $800-900 to
All
go.
right. So maybe we put up. Sorry for cutting you off. Go on.
No, you're good. No, that's it.
Okay. Okay. So maybe we put a pin on this LA Galaxy Mount Pleasant game. Tweet us out later if you really like that play still, and then obviously we'll all repost it. But you have one more play for tonight, right?
I do, yeah, definitely. Yeah, been finally here, and of course, Michael, if there's anything I missed, please let me know. Step in again, and always appreciate all your information.
That is literally
And
the perfect time to speak up and tell us that was beautiful.
yes,
That was like
yes,
literally on CBS or Fox and having like an on the field reporter coming in and
yeah.
giving you the
Breaking news. Yeah, we had a breaking news banner, and Michael came in and he gave us the solid information. But yeah, so finally here for me, 11:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. We do have San Diego taking on Toluca. I think this is a great spot for Toluca. I'm kind of fading San Diego here. San Diego, I think they're a little bit overvalued currently. They haven't played anybody in the MLS, and so they played Kansas City, St. Louis, and Montreal, and all three of those teams are projected to be in the bottom five of the MLS standings. So I think they're being a little bit overvalued here. Toluca is off to a great start in Liga MX, one of the top teams in the league. They've coming off of 5 straight wins here, and they're undefeated in 11 straight. Are Toluca? So I think Toluca's just a better side in this one, and this is San Diego's first ever Champions Cup match. I think they might be a little bit overwhelmed here by Toluca and their experience and their skill level. I like Toluca here. I'm putting a half unit on Toluca money line +200. I'll put another half unit on Toluca. Draw no bet +120. I think Toluca is just going to have a little bit too much for San Diego, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like this a lot. This is if you're going to go back and listen to our Champions League and Europa League episodes, we talk about heavily publicized, or I guess the teams that share the spotlight the most in the global markets tend to be overvalued by recreational bettors, which usually drives the price a little bit too far, and then there's value the other way, and this feels just like a typical play, just like that.
Yep, absolutely. And Michael, I think, did you have something to say? Please tell me that the entire starting 11 of Toluca has not been detained as well. No,
No,
anything?
it's good. I haven't heard anything, so you're good.
Okay, thank God. All right, it's cool. So we're good with that play. And then that's gonna do it for me for Champions League. The only other thing I have is NBA, but we can get to that a little bit later.
All right. Yeah, I can go either way if you want to talk basketball or baseball first. I'm very excited for baseball today, World Baseball Classic. I did come off an 0-2 day, which is my worst betting baseball day in probably about 6 months. So not excited about that, but I'm looking for a nice bounce back. I'm really upset that I didn't bet Canada officially because I had that play in my pocket. I had them on the run line and I had them on the money line, and I was just too scared to play them, and obviously they won, so I kind of regret that. But I'm going to make it right today. Yeah, all right. I'm already talking about it, and we got Drew here.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Let me interject real quick. Let me go ahead and give this NBA parlay, and then I can do a little bit of multitasking while you guys are covering
Oh, sure.
baseball.
No, let's do
If
basketball.
that
Let's just
works for
go.
you,
Yeah,
okay.
let's just
All
go
right.
straight into basketball. That's fine.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. Okay. So for me here, just one play, guys, in the NBA. It's a lighter slate tonight, but I did find some value on a three-leg money line parlay here. So what I like here tonight, I like the Cavs on the money line taking on Orlando. I think this is a good bounce back spot for Cleveland. I think they are the better team than Orlando. I know Orlando's been playing well as of late, but I think Cleveland has enough here to get over the line here against Orlando. So I like Cleveland on the money line here, parlayed with the Knicks on the money line against the Utah Jazz. Of course, the Jazz incentivized to lose here in the Take-a-thon sweepstakes, so I don't expect the Jazz to win this one. So I like Cavs money line, Knicks money line, and then the Hornets on the money line taking on the Kings. Of course, the Kings, worst team in the NBA. Actually, no, they're not the worst team anymore because they came back against Indiana down by 20 and won. So now Indiana's the worst team. That was a battle of the toilet bowl there, and for some reason Sacramento decided to come back and win that game when it actually hurts them. But in any case, they're the second worst team now. But I think Hornets smashed them here. So Cavs money line, Knicks money line, Hornets money line. You're gonna get to the plus 102.
Nice. I love it. I also have an NBA three-leg parlay, and two of the legs are very similar. So I'm happy to hear that. The Knicks, I took on -2.5 spread. I took the Cavs on a plus 8.5 spread, and the Rockets plus 15.5 for -113 over at FanDuel. And again, yeah, I agree with you on the Knicks. I think this is a good bounce back spot against the Jazz, who need to start tanking right away. They have been playing surprisingly competitive basketball, but the Knicks have the advantage in the perimeter and in the paint. So I don't really see how the Jazz are going to kind of keep this competitive. Like, this is a game that they're allowed to tank. The Rockets are facing the Nuggets, and we just saw the Nuggets play yesterday. They're good, they're great, but this is going to be a lower possession, tighter game. Houston plays a half-court defense, and that's going to help out in the high altitude, trying to prevent them from getting too tired too quickly. And then last but not least, the Cavs Magic. Yeah, I like the Magic. I like the Cavs to win it outright. I took the plus 8.5 as a severely stretched line because I could with the points. Even without Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley is enough of a beast down low to kind of prevent Magic from just scoring at will. And the Magic should negatively regress on their shots. They're shooting way above their expected metrics here, so I expect them to kind of come down to earth. And again, three-leg parlay. You could choose mine. You can choose Prince's. You could choose both of ours. But yeah, I'm on two of those three legs. I'm on the exact same side as you, man.
Yeah, I think it's an absolute solid look. But I love those alt spread parlays. I'm a big fan of those. It's a way to kind of give yourself a safety net and get some good value at the same time. So all over it, and I'll be telling that for sure. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys got for baseball here. What do we got for the World Baseball Classic,
Wait,
guys?
before we go
I've been
there.
all into that. What are we gonna
Wait,
what's
before
up?
we get to baseball, I
Okay.
have one more play in the NBA.
Oh, sorry.
And
Go ahead. Yes.
or what, Drew, go first. Why not? Because I have a player prop. We're talking game props. I think you have an under, correct?
Cavs Magic game. I haven't played in that. I like the under 226.5. We're talking about two teams that defense. The Magic have allowed less than 100 points the last two games. We've seen the Cavs recently be in a low. I know ever since they got Harden, they've been scoring a decent amount, but ever since they got Harden, they also been playing slower. Used to be kind of a running gun team, but with Harden, it's no knock to Harden, but he usually likes to ISO play slower. I did their under in the last game, I believe. They're playing the Sixers, and their coach saying, hey, we need to treat every game down the stretch. We want to make sure we get a higher seed, and they've been playing very tight defense. And for watching that Cavs game, the Cavs are playing very intense defense. Magic like to play relatively slow-ish, but I think the reason why the Magic are able to put up points is because nobody can really go to the extent to where they. So I really like the under 226.5. I don't see this game being like 15, like 113 kind of game. I see one team may score 100 points and the other one gets in like 107 range. So I like the under for this.
All right, yeah, I can dig it. I can dig it a lot. I think I like that. I think that was also a lean on my model here as well. I think I had a 4-point advantage, so I definitely like that as well. Anything else before I go on to my player prop of the day? And I'll just keep moving forward. All right, so Kyle Filipowski. Now, he has been on a roll lately. Not something that I normally bet. I think this actually might be my first player prop that I'm giving out on the show, just as a half a unit. I saw this last night. I hope that the price is the same. I didn't check. But Filipowski is currently averaging 15.1 points and 9.1 rebounds over his last 10 games here. Markkanen, Kessler, and Collins are all unavailable tonight. And Filipowski is going to be projected to at least play 30 minutes. And at that point, I couldn't ignore the value that he should score at least 14 points here. I took his points over 13.5 at minus 130 over at FanDuel for a half a unit. I don't normally bet player props and definitely don't give them out on the show, but this is just such a good value spot that I couldn't ignore it. Do either of you guys have thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're onto something there. With of course the other guys being out, he should be getting a volume of minutes, and everything adds up for him to have a good game. The only thing that worries me is a capper that I follow, one of the NBA good cappers out there. He's actually on the other side. He's on the under that one, so that one concerns me just a little bit. But I agree with you though. I think given the volume of his minutes, he should be able to get it. But New York has some good size as well that could compete against him. So it all depends. But yeah, I get your logic, and I'm with you on that.
Well, I won't hold it against you if you don't bet it. The other ones I might.
Oh yeah, no, I like
Deal.
I like Filipowski, sure. And also, I guess I know there's only two games, but I guess before World Baseball Classic, I do have actually hockey play.
Yeah, let's do hockey real quick because there's only two games, like you mentioned, and we can get it in and out real quick. What do you got for us in hockey today?
Yeah, so something I like because I saw there was an edge here, and I know I'm usually all for like goal regression, but we have the Senators versus the Canadians. The last three games finished the over, but the last six finished the over, and the Canadians are like 4-1 to the over in the last five, and the Senators like 3-2. I like the over 6.5 minus 115. We usually when these two face each other, the light lights up. So I really like this over 6.5 at minus 115 personally.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. And that's the Canadian Senators game?
Yes, yeah. The last six meetings when they faced, I think they averaged like 7 goals or more.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm just going to go with the Senators 60-minute money line here. I think that the majority of the goals probably comes from their side. I think they have the better goalkeeper, and we've been crushing these 60-minute money lines. So at plus 105 over on MGM, I thought there was a lot of value there. And again, I am consistently going to fade back-to-back nights in the NHL. Yesterday, my play didn't just win, right? I had the Minnesota Wild on the 60-minute money line, and they won by 5-0. It was just an absolute blowout. So these back-to-back spots is a new strategy that I'm trying to try out here, and I'm going to go back for it on a back-to-back night. Assuming again that when you're defending and your legs are tired, you give up greater chance shots, high dangerous opportunities, and the Senators should be well positioned to take advantage of that. So I do like the over. I also like the Senators to kind of win it in regulation time. Do you like that play as well, Drew?
Yeah, I like that play as well, and it's kind of funny because I know we talked about yesterday. I don't see how the Mammoth are going to score much. I didn't expect them to put a donut on the board, but yeah, shout out to the Wild.
Yeah, that was wild. I didn't expect a shutout either. And then the only other game, we might as well talk about it. We don't normally talk every single game on a slate, but when there's only 2 games, you better talk about it. I do have a strong lean on the Washington Capitals here on the money line. You can get that at -110 as of last night, I guess. I think that they're just the better team against the Flyers. I know I'm in Philadelphia. There's a lot of hype around them, but I just don't think that they're that good. Sorry. I'm going to get some flack about this because I know that some of my neighbors listen to this show, and they are very vocal about how great the Flyers are going to be, and I just disagree. So I'm going to have that fight when I go home.
I think the Capitals win this. I think the Capitals are the better team, and they win this.
So I think when the line came out, you could have gotten this at +105 at some places, and I think that's probably the reason why I didn't take the -110, because I just missed out on 15 points of value. But again, what can you do? All right, Drew, why don't you bring us into college basketball before we head into the World Baseball Classic, which I'm very excited to get on a good track on again. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, for sure. Let me see. Actually, can we go to World Baseball Classics? I'm still looking at this one line for basketball.
Yeah, no problem, brother. No problem at all. We got 3 games today. First game, I think, starts at 3 p.m. Cuba versus Canada. Now, I understand that Canada looked really good yesterday, but again, they played yesterday. Cuba's taking a day off. Very upset that I didn't bet Canada yesterday, but what are you going to do? But they are pitching Cal Quantrill, who's one of my favorite fade targets throughout the MLB season. His barrel rate and hard hit rate, welcome back. If you haven't listened to me before, that's one of the few of the major metrics that I like looking at for an MLB pitcher. I should just say any pitcher. He has a 12.4% barrel rate. For reference, I think it's like 8% is average. So people are barreling up the bat when he pitches an insanely more than average rate. And he's getting hit hard at 44.3%, which is also about 3 to 5% more than an average hitter. So batters are getting contact against him, and they're hitting it harder, and he doesn't have a high strikeout rate at all to bail him out. So a 16.6% strikeout rate with almost 12.5% barrel rate and 44% hard hit rate. This is just a recipe for disaster. I faded him all year last year. It's worked out pretty well for us. Cuba, on the other side, is starting the less known pitcher in Livian Manuelo. But again, he is, and we talked about this before, the best pitcher outside of the MLB, or at least one of them. And it has shown that he is able to translate that success from going 1.46 ERA, right? That was his ERA last year in the Pacific League in Japan, and a dominant 27.8% strikeout rate. So even if he gets into trouble a little bit, he can work himself out. I think Cuba is being severely underestimated here. And I get it. They lost to Puerto Rico, but they still look dangerous. And I think that they can pull off an upset here on the full game. But I love the value on the first 5 money line here. And I took that, I think, at +130, which is just unbelievable value. I don't understand that line. I think it's fishy, and I'm going to take it any day of the week. Drew, what do you got on this game?
I'm honestly kind of on your side when it comes to this game. I feel like you said, I think Cuba's kind of being undervalued in this aspect here. And also, another thing, it looks like Vegas priced the over under kind of right because I think Vegas finally adjusting to realize that Cuba games are low scoring, so I don't see much edge there.
Yeah, they have a good bullpen. They're doing well. I trust them a lot more. And again, if you can't get the first five money line at over 115 or anything over that, just get the full game money line. You can find that pretty widely available at plus 130 as well. And then the second game here, Dominican Republic versus Venezuela. I know that seems like a trap game here. Maybe it is, but I just think that the DR's lineup is just more patient and more deadly. Eduardo Rodriguez is the better pitcher, and he's pitching for Venezuela today. But his whole thing is getting batters to chase outside the zone. That's his whole game. If he gets batters to chase, he's great. If he doesn't get batters to chase, he's dead in the water because he has a very low ground ball rate. So if he's forced to throw over the plate, and again, this DR lineup is patient and deadly. I think that they're going to force him to throw over the plate, and I think that they're going to take advantage. And when I'm evaluating who's going to be able to hold down the other team should they get a lead, I trust the DR's bullpen a little bit more. Again, Venezuela may have the better closer, the better starter, but as a whole team, the DR is just a much better team overall. They just are, and I love them to win by multiple runs. Do I wish that I could have gotten the run line at minus 1.5? Yes. Am I going to pay the minus 180 juice? No. Give me the minus 2.5 at minus 105 over an MGM. I think that there's a lot of value there. If you want to just take the money line as a parlay piece, I wouldn't hold that against you either. Either of you guys have thoughts on this one?
I agree with you 100%. Honestly, I'm a big fan of Venezuela's band. I like the people in their lineup, but I just think this will eventually come down to the lack of pitching depth for Venezuela, and also I think Dominican Republic, their offense we've watched right. Once you reach the third/fourth inning with them, they put it on you. And it can become in bunches. We literally saw it be 0-0 going to second, and then it was 2 outs, bases loaded. It was 2 outs, bases loaded, and they had no runs on the board. Walk, grand slam, Tatis. Like it can be that simple. With that, the way for Venezuela to stay in this is the top of the order, gets hits with Acuna and crew. So I like DR to win by like you said, like 3 or more runs.
Yeah. Something to note, though, I think Venezuela's only played 2 games, while the DR has played 3. So the rest advantage does go to Venezuela. But again, their depth just isn't in there. And if DR can push Eduardo Rodriguez out of the game early, I think this could be a very lopsided score. All right, the last game on the slate, which I'm sure everybody is interested in, Mexico versus Italy. Now, you know what, Drew? Why don't you tell us what Mexico needs to do in order for the USA to have a chance to go through here? Because the USA royally messed up. And if you didn't watch that game last night, I don't know what you were doing. That was prime, suspenseful, unbelievable baseball. Italy was up 8-0 in the 6th inning, and then the USA had to kind of chip away. PCA. Unbelievable. One of the best performances I've ever seen. The game ended with the tying run at the plate with Aaron Judge. Just prime baseball. Sorry, I took away the lead a little bit, but why don't you tell us what Mexico needs to do today for the USA to move through?
Yes, definitely. I did a lot of research on this when my wife and kids went to bed because I was very curious. So basically the best case scenario, guys, Italy beats Mexico. But the other best case scenario, because it goes based off of not necessarily run differential, but runs allowed, right? So we have 11. USA has 11 runs allowed because of that debacle. And then us scoring runs helped, though, in the fact for the third tiebreaker. But the way we get this handled is Italy wins, or if Mexico wins, they have to score 5 or more runs, right? And the reason why about head-to-head, well, guys, the head-to-head won't matter in a 3-way tie because each team will be 1-1 with each other. So if Mexico wins, right, USA beat Mexico, right, and then Mexico beat Italy beat USA, so it's 1-1. So head-to-head goes away for anything here. So the key for here is that if Mexico does win, they need to score 5 or more runs against Italy. So we're basically hoping for a high-scoring affair. So basically what we want to happen is Mexico at least scores 5 runs rather than just worrying about Italy possibly winning. Because if you see it's 5-5, right, it's a 5-5 game, well, guess what? No matter what happens, if it's a 5-5 game, USA is going to win. USA is going to move on no matter what. So that's what you need to think about it, guys, in that aspect. Because if Italy wins 2-0, they move on. If Mexico only wins like 4-2 or 4-3, them two move on. So we need to hope that Italy and Mexico don't have a pact to get the USA out. So
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't think that Italy has much of a chance here coming off their best win, I think, of all time. I think I can say that confidently. I don't think it's even me saying that confidently. I think it's just as a fact. And yeah, Mexico should count their lucky stars that they got a day off yesterday, because you saw what happened to the USA. They played a tightly contested showdown. It was intense. They used a lot of relievers. They put a lot of energy, the bats, and they just crumbled the next day against a decent Italian club. No knock against them, but they're not at the same level as the Dominican Republic, Japan, or Mexico, or the USA. But because they won yesterday, the public will be all over them today. And that is, I think, a classic mistake. I expect them to crumble today against a really patient Mexico club. Yeah, sure. Aaron Nola is pitching. Exciting. It's great. I don't like him. I faded him all year this past year. His barrel rate and hard hit rate are not where you want it to be. He 43.3% hard hit rate with a 9.1% barrel rate. Now that is a lot better than Quantrill earlier. Still not good. Much below average. His strikeout rate is at 24%, which isn't bad. But again, this Mexico club, they have good batters. They have patient batters, and they will make him work. And I think that if Aaron Nola is not at the top of his game, which we haven't seen a lot of lately, I think that he's going to be in big trouble. And if Italy needs to go to their bullpen, this game could get out of hand quickly. Again, we saw them yesterday. Their bullpen crumbled, and they were switching through pitchers over and over and over again. I don't know how much they have left. So you're going to give me a -1.5 run line, even at -144. I'll take that any day. And if you want to take the better juice and push this to -2.5 for near even money or plus money, I love that too. I don't think that Mexico loses here, and I think that they win by a large margin in a probably the biggest letdown spot Italy will ever have. Got any thoughts?
Oh yeah, something I will say also is to the people that like USA side wise that worry that about Mexico winning and them not scoring enough runs. Remember, guys, Mexico needs to win this to move on. So it's not like they're going to score 3 or 4 runs and let off. But Mexico doesn't win this, they don't move on. So they're going to want to try to score 5 or more runs regardless to make sure they beat the Italians. So you need to think about that. Mexico's not in automatically either, neither is Italy. So I expect a high scoring affair in this aspect. It's just like I remember I messaged our group chat, Stern. I said, hey, when Italy has to go to the bullpen, they may be screwed, and they give up like 6 runs after they brought the bullpen in. So I don't see how, like Randy, you can like Joey Meneses, Jaron Duran, Nacho Alvarez, Rowdy Tellez. I think we're going to see some bombs. They're going to try to milk a lot out of Aaron Nola, but personally, I think Michael Lorenzen's a better pitcher at this point than Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola used to be an ace for the Phillies, but since he came back from injury, he was never the same. He would get rocked, and I don't think he has the same velocity on his pitch as he used to. I was a big fan of Aaron Nola, no disrespect to him, but they're going to try to milk pitches out of him, but his biggest problem lately is finding the zone, so I think with Mexico's patient hitters, they'll be able to run up his pitch count to where he can only pitch 3 or 4 innings.
Yeah, and if his curveball isn't breaking, that's something to look out for earlier. If he's having trouble with some of the off-speed stuff, the slider, or the curveball, then he's going to be in big trouble, because that sets up all the rest of his pitches. And it's not something that was working for him during the regular season. Granted, he had a few months to work on it in the offseason, but this is going to be the first time that he's trying to show off his skills since then. So this could be a rocky start. Plain and simple. So yeah, that was our World Baseball Classic preview. Absolutely love that segment. I'm very excited for the next stage and to see what shakes out tonight. But let's get into college basketball because we are nearing the end of the season here. And we already have a plus 180 ticket on SFA if you were following yesterday. And I'm definitely looking forward to that game. I actually hedged with McNeese already, just a little bit. So no matter what I win. What can we expect today? What are we looking for? Who's going to take it all?
Yeah, so definitely. One of my first ones actually, my picks involve SFA. This is also to the people that weren't able to get SFA because the line movement has been absolutely insane for this game. If you guys didn't watch or see the score of yesterday's McNeese game, it was the game of the. It was honestly the game of the night. It could be one of the games of the year. It went to 3 overtimes. McNeese was doing everything they can to absolutely lose that game because I think they missed like 12 free throws. But the thing is, guys, that game finished at around midnight Central Time, which is where Louisiana, where it's being held at McNeese's home court, a place they haven't lost 27 straight times. But the problem with that is SFA finished well before that, and they have to play today at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. So you'd be like, oh, they have 14 hours. No, they don't, because they have to go through walkthrough and stuff. So they're going to have very tired legs. Adrenaline's going to wear off. And personally, we saw this line open at -1.5 McNeese, and now it's -3.5 McNeese. Personally, I am still going to take this, even though I have a future ticket on SFA. I wasn't going to take it because -1.5 was. I know that SFA is +3.5. It gave me 2 possessions for teams that both the games have been close games. I'm going to take that as well. Give me Stephen F. Austin +3. That's a 2 possession game, guys, because they would have to lose by 4 points or more. So, yeah, SFA +3.5 from -110. I like it. Might move up more for McNeese, but I like that.
Yeah, I hedged on the money line, but I do like that as well. That was pretty epic. I couldn't get the game on my TV, which I was really upset about, but I was watching on the ESPN app. What else you got for us today?
And also, guys, the last time SFA they split this. Played at McNeese, they only lost by like 2 points in the game they could have won. SFA made a great comeback too, but the other game I SWAC. I'm a fan of the SWAC. Bethune-Cookman. This is one of my favorite teams to watch. They're such an exciting team to watch. They're the highest ranked team in the SWAC. For Ken Palm, they're like 234th. But they have a bunch of athletes on. Their fast breaks are legendary. They can run fast. They're athletes. Last night. But I expect this to be. I think Dr. Bradley. That's actually his name, Doctor. He's their best player, in my opinion. And they also have other players like Heedy and crew. If you watch play, you'll see that they can go so fast. Fast breaks. They're not great at shooting the 3, but they're the most efficient team in the conference at shooting the 2. Number 1 defense in the conference. The wire to wire. In this case, I'm not taking the 5.5 on DK. Give me the half -120. I think they win this wire to wire. Prairie View did not look good yesterday against Alcorn State. I know been lost to Alcorn State at Alcorn State once, but Bethune-Cookman only I think has 3 losses all season in the SWAC. And besides that, they've been clearly the better team. Usually when they win the game, they win the first half. So give me Bethune-Cookman halftime, full-time. You guys can watch the game personally at 2 p.m. Eastern. I would watch it because they're a very, very, very fun team to watch running up for the way they do and how athletic and lengthy they are.
I love it. Yeah. And what time is that game? Sorry.
3 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
All right. So if you're not watching the Champions League, which I hope you guys are, definitely tune into that one. And then at 5 o'clock is the McNeese SFA game, right?
Yep. Yeah. So you can watch that game and then the McNeese game. So that'd be pretty cool. I think they're both are going to be on ESPN Plus.
Nice. All right. Let's bring in PrinceOfPicks. What do you got for us, man?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, you can actually. There's only one match going on at 12:40 or 1:45 p.m. Eastern, so you can have the college basketball on the second screen. You won't miss anything. So And by the way, I'm a huge fan of the SWAC. I love the SWAC. I love the environment, the pageantry around it all. And shout out to the Fighting Reggie Thesis, Bethune-Cookman. I've heard a lot about them. Exciting team, and I'm excited to see how they do. I'll definitely be following them in the SWAC here, and I'll be tuning in for sure.
Nice. I love it. All right. I think that kind of does it for all our plays. If anybody, or Drew, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so there was another one I was looking at, but those are my two official plays. Of course, the other one that I was thinking about, of course, I like fading Air Force, but Air Force is lately. I'm not going to take their 20.5 for Nevada, even though Nevada may possibly cover it. But this is like the time they faced them in the last few days. But we do have tournaments starting. Conference tournament starting, and we have the Big West starting as well today, and we have continuation from the Big 12 and I think SC. We do have some games early morning as well. We have Maryland and Iowa going on right now, Pittsburgh and NC State going on right now, and we have the A10 starting as well. A game that was very I was thinking about was Arizona State at Iowa State, but it moved from 11.5 to 13.5. That starts here in 14 minutes. Honestly, do it. LSU, Kentucky, I'm not going to really do that either. That starts 2 in about 14 minutes. I think Kentucky should win, but I have a hard time betting these Power 5 conference games. I wanted to get to the tournament, but it's just a lot more variance, I think, is involved with these Power 5 conferences, because sometimes these teams, these Power 5 conferences, they hold some stuff that's it's not like mid-majors. Usually the better team wins. I know we've seen some upsets from mid-majors, but it's not one of those where, because like we saw Arizona State, smack Baylor yesterday, and I did not expect that. So yeah, that's probably it from my side, unless you guys have any questions about games that you liked.
No, not off the top of my head, but I'll take a look. And just for our listeners, if anybody here live wants to come on and talk, if you have a best bet, or if you just want to ask a question or just give a comment or anything, feel free to request, and I'll bring you on right away. But yeah, no, I am excited. When does the tournament matchups all get finalized? Is that this Sunday?
Yeah, Selection Sunday this Sunday, and that's when I think the final conference championships will be like I think like Sunday morning like that, and then they do Selection Sunday like that because they have the seating set. So if you win your tournament, it's automatic bids. Shout out to Gonzaga. They're into the new foreign Pac-12. It's funny when they showed the automatic bids, they showed like all these teams that are mid-major teams, and then they showed guy on the screen when I was watching the Gnees game. He was like, "Oh, Gonzaga automatic bid. It's not like they were going to get in anyway. Way lesser than them,
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I am interested in seeing how this all plays out. It's going to be a great season. It's going to be a great tournament season, and yeah, we're going to walk you through all of it, right? Every single game.
And March Madness starts next Thursday.
Nice. All right. Any
March
last
Madness will start
minute?
next Thursday.
Cool. Any last minute conference winners or long shots or futures that you think might have value before we recap our best bets and get on out of here?
Okay. I'll recap what I said for the Big Ten. I know I mentioned it yesterday. It was Wisconsin. I think it was like plus 3,000 for them. That I really like because they can shoot the three. I don't know what they are right now, but there's some other. There was another sleeper one. I mentioned CSUN for the Big West was plus 1,500 is a good sleeper one. And then something that I will say is what I liked as well. Let me double check. Something I do like personally is Bethune-Cookman. They moved, and I'm glad they did. Bethune-Cookman plus 200 the conference. I know it's pretty low, but I think that's very good value for them because I think they're just the better team in the conference. I know they lost their last game of the season, which they didn't need to win. Plus 200 is good for clearly the best team in the SWAC. Southern is their only really full competition. Florida A&M, but yeah, I like Bethune-Cookman there. Mountain West Conference tournament winner that I like. Personally, I like San Diego State at plus 330.
All right, cool. You heard it here first. I'm going to be looking out for each of those when I replay it. Send me everything you got, including your leans, because I'm going to sprinkle at least a little bit on all of that. All right. Unless anybody else wants to come on, we're just going to recap our best bets. Drew, did you just recap your two best bets? I'll go, and then PrinceOfPicks will close us off.
Yeah. So I have and the Cavs Magic under 226.5. Canadians over 6.5. Bethune-Cookman halftime full time 120 on DK, and then I have Stephen F. Austin plus 3.5. I believe it's minus 110 as well.
Nice. And yeah, again, price shop that because you might be able to get a line movement in your favor. On a few plays today in the NHL, I have the Ottawa Senators 60-minute money line plus 105. In the NBA, I have a 3-leg parlay: Knicks minus 2.5, Cavs plus 8.5, and Rockets plus 15.5 at minus 113. And then a half a unit on a player prop, Kyle Filipowski over 13.5 points at minus 130. And then the World Baseball Classic, which I'm very excited about, Cuba first 5 money line at plus 130. The Dominican Republic minus 2.5 at minus 105, and then Mexico to close it all off at minus 1.5 at minus 144. PrinceOfPicks, take us out, recap us your best bets, and close us out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, we're going to the CONCACAF Champions Cup tonight on the pitch. We got a 7:30 p.m. Eastern kick. I like Nashville into Miami first half over 1.5 goals. You're going to get that around plus 115. Another matchup taking place in the CONCACAF Champions League tonight. It's a late one, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. San Diego taking on Toluca. I like Toluca on the money line plus 200 for half a unit. And then I also like another half unit for Toluca, draw no bet. That one's at plus 120. And then finally for me in the NBA, I got a 3-leg money line parlay tonight. I like the Cleveland Cavs on the money line, plus the Knicks on the money line, plus the Charlotte Hornets on the money line. Those three combined will get you at around plus 102 odds for the parlay. Before I get us out of here, Drew, I'm passing over to you. Any final thoughts for the listeners? Anything else we need to look out for today? Anything at all? Any comments?
Yeah, so I will say, of course, guys, when it's posted for my future tournament, make sure that you aren't accidentally betting them to win March Madness. Make sure you're looking for conference tourney winners and follow the odds that are posted once we put the best bets out. But that's it for me.
That's a very important detail. I feel like that's a mistake I would make. So thank you for that, for sure. Stern, anything from you here before I get us out?
No, but funny you mentioned that. When you had a Liverpool last Friday, I accidentally bet them in the first leg of the Champions League match, which obviously lost yesterday. So, yeah, be careful of when you're placing these bets. Make sure that the dates line up. Make sure that the odds look right. There's a few clues that you can use to kind of see if you got the wrong bet going on. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I've got to pay close attention to the details there, guys, when you guys are placing your wagers. So, but that's going to do it for us today. This has been the OnlyBets Sports Betting Podcast alongside my co-host SternBets and DrewDelu. Big thanks to our sideline reporter, Michael Spellman, for his vital information as always. I greatly appreciate it. And we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, see you soon. Thanks.